1340 WJOL.
Good morning. Rich Renik along with you, along with Dawn Desart, and along with both of us is a person that I wanted to invite to chat with due to the passing of the legendary Dick Biondi over the weekend. A longtime fellow broadcaster and acquaintance of so many of us that we grew up with him. And Pam Pulice is probably one of the people who knows Dick Biondi the best. And Pam, I can't thank you enough for taking time to be with us to talk about a fellow who'd meant so much to us. Just a great guy, Dick Biondi. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rich.
When the news came, I couldn't help reflect back on the days where I was listening to him on WLS, what he meant to us as the wild-eyed Tralian, a wild guy that everybody just had fun listening to. And you've been following him and doing research on him, and you also have a film that you have been personally involved with that is just an unbelievable piece of work. The film is The Voice That Rocked America, the Dick Biondi Story. Talk about your reflections on Dick Biondi's life.
Well, Dick was just an extraordinary guy, not only because he was a broadcast icon who changed radio, truly changed it, and put his imprint on rock and roll history forever. He just promoted so many artists and really made, and it wasn't because he was out there trying to just be the greatest. He was just a guy, a humble guy who really loved music and loved artists and wanted to support them and just gave from the heart, And that's what I think I recognized in him when I was a kid. I met him. I was already a huge fan. And when I met him, I instantly gravitated to him because I could see what a sincere guy he was. I started a fan club for him, and that was the beginning of our friendship.
I love it. I was in Myrtle Beach, and this had to be, Pam, back in the early 90s, I think. I think it was anyhow, I was listening to the radio, which I do all the time when I'm in a different town. And I'm listening to Myrtle Beach, and there's Dick Biondi. And I said, I couldn't believe this. So I called the radio station, and, I just said, hey, this is Rich Renik from WMAQ at the time. And he said, where are you at? And I said, we're in Equestrian Shores. And he said, well, come on down. Come on, I'm not too far from there. so I came down. He did this with a lot of folks who were from Illinois or in radio. And so I went down and chatted with him, and that just started the acquaintanceship with a guy that was just so open and honest and fun to be with. Then we wound up being co-workers. I worked for US 99 and he worked for Magic 104. And we would go to events together because the stations collaborated, the country station and the rock station. And we would be at Great America and do stuff like that. And he would be so much fun to be with because of his stories. His stories were unbelievable. Are there any that resonate with you?
Oh, my gosh. There's so many. And we had so many, we couldn't get them all in the movie. Honest to God. Dick is just a rock and roll historian. And let me see. I guess, one that's in the film that is just hilarious is when he had Elvis sign his shirt. And he invented stage diving because he jumped off the stage at his sock hop wearing that shirt. And he said the first girl who was going to get it, grab it, would get the shirt with Elvis's autograph on it. Well, guess what? Nobody got the shirt because the girls ripped it to shreds. And he was in the emergency room an hour later, and he was bleeding from nails on his back. Really, they're just so typical of the crazy guy that he was.
God, and the experience, the experiences that he had with the early, rock and roll, the doo-wop groups, and all of his stories about the people who became legendary performers at the time when they were just opening up in music. And legend has it he was the very first American DJ to play a Beatles record.
That's actually not legend. That is a fact. And if you go on Kent Cotell's unbelievably popular blog, it's called ForgottenHits.com. This man is he's like a historian himself. He did all the research, and he found out that Dick Biondi was the first guy to play the Beatles on the radio. there was a lot of talk about other people. He did all this research. It's all up on his blog. If you search Dick Biondi on there, you'll find all kinds of stuff. It's incredible. And Dick was the first. I mean, and you know what? He did it a year before they actually became popular, because when Dick played them right here at WLS in Chicago back in the 60s, it was February 1963 when he played the Beatles. Well, we all know it wasn't until 1964 that the Beatles became popular in America. Nobody had heard of them. So Dick was a trendsetter. He always was. He had a great ear for music.
Yeah. And at that same time, another fellow who became a dear friend of mine was Clark Webber. And there's a photo in his book of him with the Beatles at Comiskey Park at that time. And he's standing there looking bored to death. He said, everybody's screaming, and these young kids are up there. You couldn't even hear them. So you take a look at the iconic figures of Clark Webber and Dick Biondi at a time when the whole industry of music and rock and roll is changing. But what their influence was to do that.
Yes. Of course, but the difference, Biondi was just one of the kids. He loved it. He loved the music. He loved the whole rock and roll scene. He loved the artists. He just loved to get out and meet people. He was totally in on all of it.
And is legendary on top of a pizza, huh?
Oh, that was so fun. It's in the movie. If anybody's listening and they want to go check out my trailer, there's a lot of fun in that movie. And Dick was, he graciously allowed us to interview him several times at WLS, and he let us go around and come to his sock hops. We've got footage of several sock hops, and Dick is just, he's so magnetic. Well, I'm talking about him like he's still with us, because he always will be.
You bet. Talk about the movie.
The movie is complete, and we have been showing it, as you know, around the Chicago area. And we had a screening in Indiana last week at the Hobart Art Theater, which was tremendous. They love the movie. I want to get it out into the national sphere, though, and actually the international sphere, I would like, because Dick is worthy of that recognition. And my goal is to get it out. I wanted to get it out before Dick's 91st birthday. Well, unfortunately, that isn't going to happen, but we're so close. We have a movie. We just need to get it licensed.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of licensing costs, so that's what we're working on. We're trying to find our partners. If anybody's out there loves Dick Biondi, wants to help, you could go to my website, dickbiondifilm.com, and there's a donate button on there. It's tax deductible, or there's also a way to send a check if you'd rather do that. And if anybody wants to be a sponsor, oh my goodness, please contact me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And when will it be the next time for us to have the opportunity to see the movie?
Well, we're having one next Sunday out at Three Oaks, this beautiful little theater called the Acorn. It's very well known in the Midwest and actually nationally. They have national acts there. It's a great little place up in Southwest Michigan, and it's in the heart. They call it Harbor Country. It's along Lake Michigan, and a lot of fun things to do up there. But we decided to have it up there because we wanted to bring it to the people up there who love art and music. And I used to live over in LaPorte, Indiana, and it was just a stone throws away from there. So that's how I became familiar with the Acorn.
Okay.
And so I'd like to invite everybody, if you want to take a little road trip, come on up. It's next Sunday, July 9th, at the Acorn Theater. And if you go on our website, there's all the information on there. And we're on Facebook and Twitter as well, Dick Biondi Film.
Very good.
I really appreciate talking to you, Rich.
Yo, not at all. I really appreciate you being here to share your insight on an incredible guy who just left indelible memories on so many of us, and that was Dick Biondi. So once again, Pam Pulice, one more time, give us that contact information so we can follow along with you.
DickBiondiFilm.com.
All righty. Well, there you go. There you go. Pam Pulice, the DickBiondiFilm.com about Dick Biondi, legendary. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Rich.